This week on Pole House Black Pot Weekend Getaways, we're going to Chechnya in Iowa. On the menu,
oven-baked beefsteak.
So stick around. This is Wade and I'm Angel, and this is Iris, and we are Pole House Black Pots Weekend Getaways, where we show you all things yummy to cook in cast iron as we visit different places.
All right, Angel, what's happening this morning?
Well, do like we always do when we're out. Got the laptop out and I'm downloading all our video from yesterday and the Amana colonies.
Yeah, Angel does that just as a precaution, so hopefully we don't lose footage. So we do kind of
We've been burnt a couple of times.
Yeah, each day, or a lot of times it's each video as we do. Then we keep everything. It's easier organized, right?
Yes.
When you can do it that way, so you don't have kind of go back next week, or sometimes there's a couple weeks to try to cipher all the files. Because yesterday was not a real big busy day, but we had what, 49
on the GoPro.
Yeah, 49 different files on the GoPro. So everything, so it adds up pretty quick. But today we're gonna continue our vacation here in Iowa. We're gonna kind of stay in Cedar Rapids and head up to Czech Village. We're also gonna go to a mansion and kind of tour around there. Yeah. Now, Aunt Iris says good morning, don't ya? Yeah. Probably didn't mention that, and probably missed her last week. I don't know if she was on last week's video at all, because when we went down to the Amana, we left her here at camp because it was just easier for her to stay nice and comfy without going, because you couldn't go in any of the stores, so kind of.
So she was happier here.
Yeah, she'll probably be a while here by herself again while we're going to Czech Village and stuff like that. So, and then what we're gonna cook on this video, actually probably gonna be tomorrow night.
We're gonna do 2 days or more.
Yeah.
We're not getting around real fast these days because of these things.
Yeah.
It takes me a little longer. So what's on the menu is oven-baked steak.
Oven-baked. It's a beef brown steak.
Couple that let us stay in their yard, his dad came up with this recipe and he just loved it. Yeah. So we're doing it in memory of Russell.
Yep, so we're gonna do that later on, but we're gonna finish up, get things around, and go check out some more stuff around Cedar Rapids. We have arrived at Brucemore. I guess it's a mansion, looks like it.
Yep, it does. Now this is supposed to be free, right?
Brucemore Mansion was built in 1886. This is a 26-acre estate, including the house and some surrounding gardens. Brucemore Summer Hours. Guided tours of the mansion start at the top of the hour, Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Sunday, 1 to 3 p.m. This is a neat part of the grounds out here. This is actually the pet cemetery. Animals always played a prominent role in the lives of the Brucemore's families. 1906 to 37, several dogs were frequently appeared in the photographs of the family. The most notable pets lived in the Brucemore during the Hall area, 1937 to 1981. Most prominent being Leo, out of 3 different ones that they had here. And Leo was a lion, became a legend throughout the city. Neighborhood children claimed to hear the lion roaring at night. The second Leo was the only one to be buried here at Brucemore. German Shepherds also were a breed favorite of Howard and Margaret. You can see over here, this is a statue they had made, one of their favorites. And you can see quite a few of the stones. And all these are presumed were donkeys, except for this one here. This is Leo, 1937 to 1950. The only lion buried here. We went and checked out. He said it was, I think, $12
Something like that.
a person to go in for the guided tour. But then she checked with the curators, and they said since it is YouTube or something like that, that we are not allowed to do anything inside the house. So
Oh, we can't.
yeah, so we're probably not going to go in through the tour and take that. If we do, we can't show it on video, so we'll think about it. We probably will not go through that. But we can do all the outside tour and pond and the gardens and check that out. Check sticker.
You'll have to put it on me, dear.
$10 to get in. Well, that was a neat history
You know,
of Czechoslovakia.
you never think
and
about what communism's
Slovak.
like. You know? You never know.
Well, we have no clue.
Have no
you
clue,
know,
because we
no.
have never had to live that way. They started living as a communist country in 1938 to try to appease Hitler. Can you imagine that? From 1938 until 1975, when some parts of it were,
They started the
they started loosening
revolution
yeah,
or whatever.
well, it wasn't really a revolution. They still consider themselves communist
yeah.
until 1993.
And
That's
then
in my lifetime.
Czechoslovakia split apart
With-
peacefully, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, finally.
And it
after some
became the
turmoil.
Czech Republic and the Slovakia
Yeah, I think.
Republic. Because they're two different nationalities, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
This is such a wonderful place,
Yeah.
especially for history buffs. One of these days, we're going to have to find a Czech recipe. You know, we're talking
we
about...
looked at one in there, but the little pastries
Yes.
that were sometimes filled with apricot or cherry
Or the
and poppy
favorite
seed.
poppy seed was
Yeah.
what the guide for that house had.
Yeah, and I really liked that immigrant house. And
Yes.
I
It
turned
didn't have electricity until what? 1981?
I didn't get that on camera, but yeah, 1981 when they actually
And
got
the family only lived
electricity.
there 4 years.
After that, before
After
they moved
that.
on to hopefully they moved on to something bigger and better.
Well, I'd
of
assume
course,
they
you know.
did. And the reason why there was such a population of Czechs and Slavs, I think Slavs, or Bohemian,
Slovaks.
is because there was rich soil here. That's
And
why
were
they moved to
farming,
Iowa. Farming.
and more rural, free.
I tell you, if
living
you're
type
ever
of
in
thing,
Cedar
so.
Rapids, you need to come look at this museum.
And this is just one part. It was interesting. Of course, it flooded out in 2008.
in 2008.
Yeah, 2008 flooded, and 3 years later they finally got enough
Funding.
donations and funding
They
to
moved
raise
it.
it.
They moved
turned it and moved it not very far. Well,
They moved it from the banks of the Cedar River,
yeah,
raised it 11 foot. It was like 100,000 tons, isn't that what they
I don't
said?
remember what it was.
That they
but
moved. I tell you, mega movers had to have moved it. It was just,
it was pretty cool.
this is such a neat place to
And
go
this
to.
is just one thing in this whole district right along the east side of the river. This side is the Czech village, and across over there is the
Gateway Bothenian. See, New Bothenian.
Yeah, Nubo they call it, the Nubo district, which is across the river.
And this clock tower, we're waiting. We got 20 minutes to wait. They got a little people that are going to be coming out.
Do a little dance or something.
And the music, polka came from this area, region. It's something amazing.
Yeah.
The clothes that they had, you know, some of that stuff. Could you imagine sewing all them teeny tiny little beads on clothes?
The hats and the garments of
the wedding dress, their wedding headdress.
Yeah,
it's just
amazing.
We didn't do it justice. There's just so much to see. You need to come here 2 or 3 times. And the admission's only $10 for adults.
Yeah.
Which is not bad
at all. Not bad
at
all. You just take your time going through there as much as you want, because there's, you know, lots to see, lots to read.
Yes.
If you're interested in taking the time to read
and
it
I
all.
tell you, those of you who don't believe that the things that happened in World War II and during communist regimes need to have your head examined. There's too much information on it for you not to be able to believe it.
Yeah.
It's something else.
And how privileged we are in this country to never, at least in our decades, and for many decades, never experienced anything.
I mean, 200 years plus. We have not had that since we left England.
The freedoms we have.
The freedoms we have.
We take for granted, don't we?
I mean, the freedom of being able to say y'all are crazy for not believing that things happened during World War II.
Not get
in trouble.
Crucified for it or whatever.
Being able to cross the street at night and not have to have your papers on you. I don't even have my driver's license on me right now.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's just floors me. So, I have no imagination.
We're gonna kind of do a little bit. We probably won't get time to go do too much of the village itself. There's lots of stores and souvenir shops and some neat restaurants, they said, down here. That's really amazing, but we probably won't have time to do it justice.
Inspired by Czechoslovakia. We're thinking about doing something about Christmas through the nations.
Different countries.
I
and
think
nations,
the Czech nation needs to be. Yeah. Czech Republic needs to have something done with it. Now that we've seen a little bit of it, it'd be interesting. So I'm inspired.
So I guess we're going to rest here a few more minutes, get down and try to get a little footage of that clock tower at 2 o'clock. Well, we have been kind of hanging out for since yesterday when we did the last bit of filming. We went down to the Czech village and went to the museum and all that. So
that was very interesting.
Yeah,
you need to, if you're planning on being in Cedar Rapids, plan on going to visit that.
A lot of fun. We missed out going into the mansion, which we wanted to do, but since we couldn't video in there, show it, we decided not to do that. But they say it's a really nice, fun place to go tour. But so we're getting this middle of the afternoon, and we're gonna do something
we're
that's
having a bunch of people coming over. The place where we're staying, our friends Dustin and Tracy. Dustin's dad come up with this recipe.
Yeah, it's a local recipe that he had at a couple of restaurants that he loved. So when we used to come up here, he gave me the recipe. He says, "Here, I'll buy the beef and you cook this for me." So that's what we ended up doing. And uses beef steak, a beef round steak that's been tenderized, and it's called oven baked steak.
So we're gonna get around, and once we get it cooking, we'll show you how we do it.
All right, we'll be right back. So to start with, we have to have some seasoned flour. So just regular. It's a bit breezy out here, so I'm probably gonna be wearing half of this, but that's all right. Start with that amount.
As the wind blows it
And the
out.
wind blows it away. And then to go with it, basic seasoning. The recipe called for regular salt, but we like seasoned salt, so we always do that. Seasoned salt and black pepper.
Be careful with that.
Prolific.
It comes out prolifically, remember?
Yep. Give that a little light stir. Okay. Now that that's done, and if you're not really sure on how much seasoning to put in your flour when you're trying to cook or spreading, maybe you're going to do fish or something, it doesn't hurt. You can just take a little bit and taste it. If it tastes like it's regular salty, it's probably right. Needs a little bit more seasoned salt. Doesn't hurt anything. So I didn't know that for a long time, so I'd try to cook something and then taste it. It's like, oh, it needs more salt or whatever. Doesn't hurt to eat a little bit of raw flour. Never hurt nothing. Ground up wheat. Okay. Now we're gonna start our burner. Let me find the burner and it's going. Burner going. We're gonna start it and brown it on the stove, and then we're gonna take it over, put it in a big 14-inch Dutch oven, hang it over the fire, and let her cook for a good while. More in here. Don't need a lot, just enough to kind of pan fry. We're not gonna deep fry it.
You're searing it.
Using some tongs. Let that heat up for a couple minutes. And if you have to, we're going to do this in batches because we've got enough for, we figured about 8 people, so we bought a little over 4 pounds of meat. That's about a half a pound per person. And they tenderized some round steak, beef round steak, and then cut it up into steak-sized pieces. So we will get it good and seasoned. We'll go ahead and put some of this out, get it ready to go. Use my fingers, it's easier. They'll wash.
I would.
I'm gonna do that, like I say, since it's this way, we'll just get them seasoned up. Kind of press it down in there. Okay, now,
When he's ready to turn those, we'll be back.
okay, let's see how this side's cooking. Just a little bit browner wouldn't hurt anything. Okay, they're nice and brown, seared basically on one side is all we really need. Yeah. Okay, didn't be long. Yep. Kind of rotate these around. We're not quite level here, so we'll give them a little bit of a turn. Another minute, we'll flip them over. We're not trying to cook them. All we're trying to do is get them good and seared. All right, Angel, come in here. We're gonna get the lid off this Dutch oven. We're gonna put some onions in them. Let me flip these over there. Make sure we're not getting too brown. Oh yeah, beautiful. Okay. Okay, so in here we're gonna put a layer of onions. We just did nice rings. You can do whatever you want. And as these get brown, we will pull these out and lay them in the oven, onion lined Dutch oven. Okay. Now, over here, Angel, you can see where we have got the first layer of meat in. Now, all we gotta do is we're gonna lay another bed of onions on top. Dump them out, be done with it. Now, if you're not an onion fan, don't fret, because Russell told me when he had this recipe and gave it to me, he says, I don't like onions, but you gotta have onions to make this recipe work. He says, I just don't eat the onion part, eat everything else. And it's one of, I think he told me at the time it was one of his favorite meals. So, don't worry about the onions in there. Okay, bed of onions. And now, when this next two batches are done, we'll lay them on top and we'll hang it on the fire and get them simmer along, and we'll have some good food here in about another 2 hours.
We'll be back when he's got the next layer in.
Yep. Okay, like I say, it's a little bit of work to get all this browned up, but the last two pieces of round steak are going in. And then I'm gonna turn this burner off. I'm gonna kind of scrape a little bit of the drippings loose in here. A little bit of oil in there, but not too much.
We don't want to lose any of that flavor, do we?
I've been kind of taking it out as we're going. A few of the drippings so they don't burn. You don't want them to burn in there as we're cooking. That's 4 batches of in this 12-inch skillet. Okay, so now, set that over here for a minute. Got my other glove on.
All right, I'm going around here.
Plenty hot. And just kind of pour that over top.
All right, hang on a minute. Let me see if I can help you out a bit. This is seriously messing with my chi.
Okay, lid on. Now I'm gonna come around. Maybe you can she's gonna try to follow me.
I'm gonna follow the Dutch oven.
Okay. So we're using, it's probably a little bit bigger than we needed, but we want plenty of room for it to be able to cook. We're using a 14-inch Dutch oven for this. And we don't need it to really cook much hard because it's already done, but the Dutch oven's not hot. So medium heat. right underneath there, about 5 seconds. It's a medium heat, well, maybe a little bit hot, but we'll get it started. We can always spread the wood out a little bit, or we can raise it up with some shorter hooks to raise it up for less heat. And we're gonna let it cook for probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it'll be good and tender and ready to eat. Iris says to say hi, right, baby girl? Yeah.
Well, say hi.
Hi.
I don't.
Well, been cooking a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll go over there, get my gloves on. I'm gonna see how the steak's looking. Get my glove on. Hung it over the fire. Been cooking about an hour and a half. Nice simmer. Oh, it's heavy. Look at the lid. Gotta get it moving here real quick. Looky there. Smells good. And over here, the traditional way that they serve it here in the Amana colonies is with some good old fried potatoes with some sliced up onion in it, salt and pepper. So, almost ready. Got a few more people, hopefully, that are coming to help eat all this food, and then we'll go from there. Tracy is also, it's over here, I think, covered up. Let's go look. Tracy made bought some hummus and some chips, pita chips and carrots, and under here is a wonderful, peek in here, best lettuce salad. It's a crazy combo, but we love it. So, get a little bit more time. We'll get everything ready, and then we'll eat this supper. For dessert, Dustin is just getting ready to put the coals on a wonderful dessert. We've made it before on our channel, and that is pineapple upside down cake. We'll probably need, I think we did it with cranberry. But we just take the cranberry out and put the pineapple in its place. It's the same thing. So we'll link that video in the description down below. So, all right, finish getting things cooking, and then we're gonna eat supper.
Hate to say it, but we gotta leave.
Yep, Sunday morning, and we're all packed up, hooked up. Before we forget, we want to say a big thank you to Dustin and Tracy for their hospitality. Yeah, we had a great time here, camping in their yard. And
now remember, when you're traveling through Iowa and you want to stop at a state park and it's after September, the end of September,
you better check.
You better check before you go, because that was our mistake.
Well, it actually closed. It said that there's campground host through September 15th, so they probably closed that campground in the middle of September.
So you better call before you stop.
Yeah, we weren't used to that, because Missouri state parks, everything stays open through the end of October.
Except for the shower houses.
Well, no, most of them are through the end of October. Then they close everything else, but you can just have, electric sites, and sometimes they have water. But yeah, it's been a great weekend, great trip. We hope you all like this series on our trip to Iowa, and got some good recipes, and we're probably going to do some more from this area. We haven't done any from the Czech part of the
We'll probably put that in our Christmas series.
Yeah, I might be giving them for the Christmas one.
So Iris is ready to go. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Watch some of our other videos. They're all
our travel videos are good, yeah.
And share us on Facebook or whatever your social media site is. And what else do they need to do?
Don't forget to subscribe.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Bye, everybody.